行37颂里面的第7个偈颂自意束缚轮回过，世间神日能救谁？由此依止不欺者，皈依三宝佛子行。
This morning we are going to talk about the 37 practices of Bodhisattva, the 7th stance. What worldly God himself also bound in the prison of cyclic existence is able to protect others. Therefore, when refuge is sought, taking refuge in the undeceiving triple gem is the Bodhisattva's practice.
这个偈颂里面呢，我们要去皈依的话，必须要皈依佛法僧三宝除了之外，没有人能救轮回的那个受苦这样的意思嘛。
So what the main meaning in this stance is that whenever we take refuge, we should take refuge in triple gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. There's no other beings aside from this will be able to help us liberate us through the samsara.
我们都对吧？很多人呢，有的时候就拜世间法的神，供养世间法的神，祈求这些。当然这些也可以，但是我们不能当着他们是永久的皈依，在那个救轮回受苦这样的一个皈依。为什么呢？我们受轮回的那个痛苦的原因呢，就在烦恼、贪嗔痴这些做成的。因为世间神呢，他们怎么力量大也是没有解脱这些贪嗔痴的这种的那个怎么讲啊？烦恼的时候，那就没有办法当着其他那个无名众生的那个导师，就这样。
There are many people who worship the worldly God and then pray to them and ask them for some blessing or other things. This is some people practice this. However, we cannot see them as the permanent source of refuge, and they will be the source that help us liberate us from samsara rebirth. All the samsara, all the afflicted emotions, challenges come from our attachment, our anger, and our ignorance. And then even these worldly gods themselves have not been free from these, despite they may be very, very powerful. So if they themselves are not liberated from this samsaric rebirth, how can they help us and help all the sentient beings who are still ignorant to be free from this samsaric rebirth?
有的时候我们也有供他们那些世间法的神，天神啊、地神啊，等等那个local deity，那时候呢就暂时，就好像是那个怎么讲啊，就 make good connection 这种而已吧，因为这样的话， 两边都有利益，对他们也有好处，暂时会受到有些那个好处，然后也有他们的有一些那个困难，也是这样就会暂时会消掉的，他们的那个困难消除，然后也影响周围的那些human being，人也会受他们的那个，有的时候他们那个 local deity 过得不好，自然就会影响那些对方的那个人，然后就我们受这样的那个方式的帮助他们的时候，解决他们的困难，那个地方也是自然就会平安，有这样的关系，互相帮助的关系，不是一直依靠他们当着一个暂时的那个皈依的。
There are times we also make offerings to worldly God, or the heavenly God, or earth God, etc. All these are temporary, and this is a way to make some great connections with them, and it's actually beneficial to both. And we could both experience the temporary benefits. The reason being that these worldly gods may also have their own challenges and difficulties. So by making offering to them, helping them, we will be able to help them to relieve some of their struggles. And the reason is that sometimes when local deity are struggling, they would also affect the local community, the beings in the local community, local area. So if there's a way we could help them resolve some of their challenges, and not only they get over those challenges, but also the sentient beings in that area may also benefit from it. So this is a mutually beneficial. It's a temporary method, and it is not an indication of we should take permanent refuge to these worldly gods.
所以呢，我们也有做因供供朵玛供其他的那个东西的时候，也有供到他们，但是我们要分清楚，有的人就误会我们不是那个说皈依佛就不能皈依世间法的其他的那个神，没有错，我们就是供养，是不是那个当着他们永久的那个一个皈依境，我们就暂时的供养而已，那真正的那个皈依那就能就完全怎么讲呢，就消除所有的那个消掉所有的那个障碍，然后完全打开圆满智慧，这种才能可以当那个轮回无名众生的一个导师。那这有佛是这样子的。
So, just exactly this reason, we also make offering to these worldly gods, and also make offering, Thogme offering to them. And so, whenever we do that, some people may have this confusion and saying that, I thought that after we take refuge with the Buddha, we should not be taking refuge to all other beings. And so they have these confusion and question. Whenever we do this, like whether it's smoke offering or offering Thogme, we are not actually treating them as the source of refuge. This is a temporary offering. Whenever we take refuge, we should take refuge from someone who could completely eliminate all the struggles, obstacles, and help us completely achieve perfect wisdom, omniscience. So these only people who have this ability to help us, then they could be the source of refuge. And so the only person who could help sentient beings achieve this would be Buddha. So that's the only source of refuge we should take.
假如要带路的人，一个蛮复杂的地方要带路的人呢，最起码他自己熟悉那个地方，知道怎么去做，这里走到什么地方都很清楚。自己没有去过的人呢，带其他人是不可能的嘛。那世间法的神呢，他们从来没有解脱过这个轮回，那他们没有办法带其他众生到那个解脱的路。释迦牟尼佛呢，他本来跟我们一样，他也是一个普通的这个凡夫，那他呢就发心，然后遇到一个真正会带那个解脱道的那个老师，然后他呢就按照那个老师的教导来做很长时间，慢慢，他已经解脱这个轮回了，他已经打开所有的智慧，他现在有那个圆满智慧。其他没有人像佛这样是一个人，所以我们只能依靠佛，佛有才有法，才有三宝。
So whenever we visit a new place, we rely on the guidance of a leader or a guide. So whoever needs or in the role of the guide need to be very familiar with the destiny, the place. Otherwise, if they are still trying to figure out where to go, which route to take, how can they be the lead? Can they be the guide for other people? So in this case, the worldly God have not achieved complete liberation yet. And if they are still confused, how can they be the lead? How can they be the guide for sentient beings to get out of the samsaric rebirth? And however, Buddha himself has achieved complete liberation, and then he has make wish to help sentient beings to achieve liberation. And that is a very different story. In the past, he has received instructions from a teacher who has achieved enlightenment. And through long times of cultivation and practice, then himself eventually achieved complete liberation. And also achieved the perfect wisdom, attained perfect wisdom. And so, because of that, he is totally clear and completely liberated. So he can be the guide for all sentient beings to get out of the samsara and then achieve the liberation. There's no other teachers like the Buddha who has this ability. And then from there, not only the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, these will be the source of our refuge.
那这样就佛导是我们真正的皈依，依靠的皈依境。然后呢，其实 佛也只能告诉你，怎么去做，不是佛直接救你轮回的痛苦了。那这样就真正的那个皈依呢，就变成佛法。释迦牟尼佛充满了智慧、慈悲，就教导很多不同的那个，根据不同的那个众生的，karma，习气，然后有教很多不同的方法了。我们按照佛的教导 instruction 做的话，那真正会解脱这个轮回的受苦。这样就这个佛法是，真正的我们的那个 protection 是这个佛法，并不是佛本身。
So we know that the Buddha is our authentic truth, source of refuge. And then the Buddha has taught us in many different ways according to our faculty, according to our individual karmic and our habituation, and help us, lead us out of the samsaric suffering. And so he taught us so many different ways. And if we could follow that, then we will be able to leave the samsaric rebirth. And even in this case, Buddha could only tell us what to do and how to do it. He could not do that for us. He could not just say that, oh, I will liberate you, and then we got liberated. It's our own individual effort. And when we do that, what we are following is Buddha's teaching and not just Buddha as a person himself.
然后呢，皈依僧怎么皈依呢？我们呢，谁有去做按照佛法的那个教导，就那个人是变成三个，这样就他自己会解脱这个轮回的那个受苦的。还有外在的三宝，内在的三宝，有的时候有这样分别来讲，内在的三宝呢，就自己的智慧是佛，慈悲是那个可以说佛法，谁有智慧跟慈悲，这两个，谁有那个修这两个，就他是神三个。像内在这样三宝，其实都在自己的那个心上。有的时候要这样了解，佛法是一个人的身上，谁有这样的，他自然就会解脱这个轮回痛苦的。三宝救一个人的时候这样救，皈依三宝，然后就是那个三宝保护一个皈依的人的时候就这样保护，不设你就受了皈依戒就过了。先要受皈依戒，然后一直要依着三宝，依靠三宝，这样才会那个 轮回的受苦了。
So then the third part, aside from the Buddha, the Dharma, then the third part is the Sangha. When we say we take refuge to Sangha, what we are actually doing is that whoever follow the instruction, the teaching of the Buddha and practice, then they could be considered as Sangha members. And through that, we will know the suffering of the samsaric rebirth. So, in addition to the external, the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, the Triple Gem, we also have internal Triple Gem. Whenever we refer to internal Triple Gem, we are referring to our innate wisdom, which is the Buddha, the loving kindness and compassion, that is the Dhamma. And whenever we could we possess these wisdom and loving kindness and compassion. Whoever possesses this, then they are considered a Sangha. So when we say that eternal Triple Gem, is because it's all within our mind. And so we should try to understand this way and understand that Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha all are encompassed in our own, in our self. If we could understand this, and then we will be able to eventually achieve the enlightenment and liberate the samsaric rebirth. Whenever we say that we take refuge to Triple Gem and we receive the protection, it is not saying that after we take the refuge precept, then we are fine, we've been protected. It is when we say that the protection comes from we rely on Triple Gem, the teaching, and then the practice, and then eventually we could relieve the samsaric suffering and rebirth.
好，今天讲到这里，时间到了。
Our time is up, so we'll stop here for today.